People pointing the fingers, one thing or another. You get your rear end in there and you play the way you know how to play. We can win the game. We're going to open it up. We're going to go fast tempo. Defense, get after Jordan Love. You can't give him that much time. You do what you're supposed to do, we'll win this game.
Yo, this JB the Cowboy fan, and yes, sir, I'm back with another one. And yo, this part two to the part one. I got down Stephen Jones lying to us about going all in with his daddy, with the Cowboys. But yo, let's just get right into it.
A lot of your players since the season been lost have talked about the culture and how that needs to be addressed or changed.
Who's that?
A lot of your players since the season ending loss have talked about the culture.
The culture.
Yes. I don't know if you guys addressed that or you talked about that. If that was a problem, maybe ever come up reason why y'all lost, but I don't know if that come up in
No.
you worry about the culture on the
No, I
team
don't.
entitlement or anything like that.
I think from the organization on down, we feel good about our culture. You always want to be better. I will say that. I mean, if you're not, if your results aren't winning the Super Bowl, I think everybody's saying, how do you ultimately be the last guy standing? But I think overall, between, organizationally, between, our coach, our personnel department, I think our leadership on our team's outstanding. So, you're always going to have somebody who's, going to say something, that's not, that might be, hey, that's their particular thought process on why we may have come up short, but I don't think in general, personally, I don't think it's an issue.
Yo, man. Stephen Jones talking about ain't no problem with the culture. What is he talking about? Man. Yo, y'all, man, let me get this where Stephen Jones said. Goddamn, talking about there's no problem with the
A lot
culture.
of your players since the season ending loss have talked about the culture.
The culture.
Yes. I don't know if you guys addressed that or you talked about that. If that was a problem, maybe ever come up reason why y'all lost, but I don't know if that come up in
No.
you worry about the culture on
No,
the
I
team
don't.
Goddamn, talking about there's no problem with the culture. You see what I'm saying? Man, are you kidding me, Steven? Y'all are the problem. Y'all are the culture. Y'all the problem. This not want to spend money on free agents. This, I mean, they worrying about bringing soccer teams and soccer games to Dallas Stadium and shit and getting. I mean, like I get it, but it's more about. It just seems like it's more about the glitz and glamour and making money. It's all the other shit that's more important to the Cowboys than. I mean, it seems like more outside shit is more important than winning championships with this Cowboy team. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing I'm getting with this, man. Well, this dude talking about the culture don't mean nothing. You got to be kidding. I don't think they ain't serious about going on there, bro. I just don't. Bro. Let's keep it going, though. Let's see what else what you got to say.
our players back, a lot of really good football players back, it's a good thing. And certainly at the key spots. You got a guy like Dak, who is the leader of this football team.
Hold up. Did he stutter when he said that?
Certainly at the key spots. You got a guy like Dak, who is the leader of this football team. It's always great to have him back. He certainly does everything in his ways to certainly make his spots. You got a guy like Dak, who is the leader of this football team. It's always great to have him back. He certainly does everything in his ways to make everybody better.
Oh, he said having Dak in the key spot. Hold up. Oh man.
Certainly at the key spots. You got a guy like Dak, who is the leader of this football team. It's always great to have him back. He certainly does everything in his ways to make everybody better. Organization, but we'll embrace that. So we've got a lot of work to do in that area, and in terms of the defense, but having a lot of our players back, a lot of really good football players back, is a good thing. And certainly at the key spots. You got a guy like Dak, who is the leader of this football.
Man, that shows you how much he believes in Dak. When you have all your key players back, you play back at key spots. Especially like at the quarterback position with Dak, when he's the leader. Why he had to stutter? Yo, come on, man, come on.
Football team. It's always great to have him back. He certainly does everything in his ways to make everybody better and hold people accountable. And he sets a high bar and a high standard.
Yeah, pressure is privilege.
It's a good problem to have in players. How more challenging is it than it was years ago? You had guys at the top of the market. Now that the numbers have become so much greater than I don't know if the cap is the same as the player salary.
It's always a challenge when you start to have a lot of players that you're trying to pay, top of the market. It's a challenge.
Y'all make some dumbass moves too.
So it's, to me, it's not a lot different. It's just, how many guys you're trying to fit in there. And to me, it's about players. We had a situation last year where you end up losing a guy, but you end up getting 4 players rather than what you might have paid 1 player. And that's the way you have to look at it. Would you rather have 3 or 4 players for $3 and $4 and $5 million a piece, or 1 player for $20 million? So those are the.
Yo, did y'all peep what he said? And that's why I continue to say they not gonna do nothing in free agency. Sometimes he said it's better. He said wouldn't it be better to get? Matter of fact, let's go back. Come back and say this shit again. Say this shit again.
Guys you're trying to fit in there, and to me, it's about players. We had a situation last year where you end up losing a guy, but you end up getting 4 players rather than what you might have paid 1 player. And that's the way you have to look at it. Would you rather have 3 or 4 players for $3 and $4 and $5 million a piece, or 1 player for $20 million? So
see, he said it. That's that cheap shit. And that's what they did. No knock on Gilmore. No knock on Cooks. And they're one of the many examples of them going and getting aging players for the cheap. Would you rather get 3 or 4 players and pay them $4, $5, $6 million a piece? Or get that one? That's why we're not gonna get a Derrick Henry. That's why we haven't gotten a Bobby Wagner. That's why we haven't gotten a what's your boy with Oh man, I forgot his name. Oh shit, the linebacker for Baltimore Ravens. Shit, fuck it. But that's no Roquan Smith who was with the Bears at one point. We don't Khalil Mack. We don't make big free agent moves like he said. Would you rather get 3, 4, 5 players and play on 4, 5, 6 million apiece, or get one player and play 20? Well, that one player is one of them free agent type players that can take you over the top. You collected all your 3 or 4 players, and you see what that's done. You need to get that one. And if you got to pay him that $20 million, you pay that one that $20 million because he going to get you over the hump. Going after them old, they ain't old, you know what I'm saying? They not going to give them more than Cooks and the many other players that are signed just like them in the past. I ain't knocking them. But there were times we need to make big moves to go get that one big-time player or add another big-time player with that big-time player. But they're not going to do that. And you see the mentality is still there. The mentality is still there. Ain't shit changed.
Those are the, things you get into weighing in terms of, where you better off. Certainly that quarterback position, it's not unique to us. It's real. And it's good because you have one. But it's a challenge, too, in terms of the salary cap.
Yeah, it's always a challenge with Dak contract.
Yeah, I think everybody has their priorities in a certain situation. You get to this time of year, if you don't have something already done, obviously the 3 guys that we talk about that are the priorities, they won't be able to go to the open market this year. So, they're going to be, on this team next year, and that's a great thing. But once guys usually get to this window and they have a chance to be free, usually it's hard to get something done. Not impossible, it gets done. We've done it before, but usually it's real hard to get something done because they do want to see, hey, what situation's out there.
Because you don't have to take attack and that and all that. You have to start thinking about the possibility of life without him at all at this point.
Yeah, we won't get our whole thing with Dak is him being a Cowboy. That's all that's on our mind, and certainly don't get into those type of thoughts.
Maybe it has a supermax to play the team a lot of money. Would you be opposed to that for the NFL?
I'm not going to get into theoreticals today. I'll pass on that one.
So not timeline-wise, but you do want to extend that.
Oh yes, absolutely. Certainly at the key spots. You got a guy like Dak, who is the leader of this football team. It's always great to have him back. He certainly does everything in his ways to certainly on key spots. You got a guy like Dak, who is the leader of this football team. It's always great to have him back. He certainly does everything in his ways to make everybody better. Oh yes, absolutely.
What's your best case scenario for organization in terms of the cash monster? What do you hope happens there this offseason?
Like I said, that's just details. I don't want to get into the details of that, and we want to be certainly respectful of the negotiation, and certainly we have our thoughts and our views, but I'm sure Dak and his team have their thoughts and views, and we'll continue to see how we bring those together.
Meeting this week with Todd here.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to get into any details on anything when it comes to these negotiations.
Yo, this is JB the Cowboy fan. Y'all like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all for listening to me. Yo, let's go Cowboys.